The Wire is AI generated. Just like humans, AI sometimes gets it wrong. Trust but verify the information contained in this podcast.
Welcome to the Wire Weekly Roundup. The week in real estate presented in digestible bites. Hold on while our AI hosts take us on another ride through this week's top real estate headlines.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Definitely. Always up for a good deep dive.
So this time, we're diving into this world of real estate. As always, right? Things are constantly changing, and
never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment, no.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot to cover today. We've got market reports, economic trends, even a little Super Bowl ad analysis. Yeah, got to keep things interesting.
It's all about staying ahead of the curve, right?
Yeah.
And I think this information is really going to give you that edge, those insights that can actually, impact your business strategies.
I think so, too. And speaking of things that can impact your business, let's kick things off with this. Did you see this? This fact from the U.S. Census Bureau.
I think I saw that one, yeah.
Yeah, so they're saying international migration added a huge number of people to the U.S. in 2024.
Wow.
Like 2.8 million people.
Wow.
Yeah. That's like 84% of the nation's total population growth.
That's significant. Yeah, I mean, think about it, right? What does that mean for you? For your local market? Are you seeing all these new clients coming in with all these different needs, different backgrounds?
That's a great point. It's like a whole new wave of buyers, essentially. And speaking of, shifting demographics, we've got to talk about this whole rise in family caregivers. Have you seen this study from Johns Hopkins?
I have, yeah. That was a fascinating one.
Yeah, so it was pretty striking. They found that, the number of care hours, actual care hours provided by family members, it went up, way up, 50% between 2011 and 2022.
50%, that's a huge jump. And, that has some serious implications for us, for the real estate world. Think about it, right? How are we going to help our clients who are, they're trying to navigate the whole housing market thing, but they're also juggling all these caregiving responsibilities?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Are we equipped to handle that?
Yeah.
To really help them with that?
It's a whole new set of needs, right? Maybe they need to find a home that's, better for seniors, or maybe they need help figuring out how to modify their existing home, or even just, connecting them with resources for legal and financial stuff related to caregiving. It's a lot.
It is. And it's not just about the transaction anymore, right?
Yeah.
It's about being a trusted advisor, a partner for those clients who are going through those tricky situations in life.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Ready for something a little lighter?
Sure.
Super Bowl ads. Did you see those Homes.com ads?
Oh, yeah. How could you miss them?
Right. With Dan Levy and Heidi Gardner and
Morgan Freeman. Come on.
No, and Morgan Freeman, of course. Those are pretty good.
They were memorable, that's for sure. And, I got to hand it to them. They were really smart about how they used that humor in those celebrity endorsements. It definitely caught people's attention.
Yeah. And they're boldly claiming to be the best home shopping website, even though they kind of joke about their lawyers won't let them actually say it outright.
Right. Clever marketing. But there's more to it than just the entertainment, I think.
Right. What really jumped out at me was their focus on home sellers.
That's it. They're positioning themselves as the portal for sellers, they're the ones who really have sellers' backs. Yeah. Which is interesting, right? Because so many of these portals, they're all about lead generation. They kind of forget about the seller sometimes. So I'm curious to see how that plays out.
Yeah. How it resonates with, with agents and brokers who are also trying to put their, clients first.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's talk about something a little less glamorous, maybe. Mortgage rates. That whole roller coaster.
Oh, yeah. The never-ending saga.
Right. So they dipped a little bit, right? Down to 6.89%. 6.89%. Yeah, but I mean, come on, let's be real. We're still hovering around that 7% mark. That's still pretty daunting.
It is, but even with those rates being what they are, there's this interesting little tidbit. Experts like Lisa Sturdivant and Sam Cater, they're saying that purchase applications are actually up a bit from last year.
Oh, really? Up?
Yeah.
Huh. So is that a sign that buyers are feeling more confident, or is it just, a little blip, a temporary thing?
Good question. It's hard to say for sure, right? But it's definitely something we need to keep an eye on.
It is. But it really brings up this whole question of, how are we how are we advising our clients in this crazy mortgage rate environment? Like, should they wait it out, hoping that the rates will go down further? Or, do they just kind of jump in and take advantage of what's happening now?
Yeah, it's a tough call, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer, right?
Yeah.
It really depends on their individual situation, their risk tolerance.
Yeah. But I think having those tools, those affordability calculators, like Zillow has that good one, that can really help both us and our clients, to kind of make those informed decisions.
Absolutely. Data is power, right?
It is. Okay, speaking of data, let's take a look at this NAR commercial real estate report. This gives us a pretty good snapshot of, how different sectors are performing.
Always good to see the big picture.
Yeah. So office sector, it's slowly showing signs of life.
Slowly, yeah.
Yeah, but those vacancy rates are still way up there.
Yeah, that's still a tough market to crack.
Yeah. Now, multifamily, that's, it's been booming, right?
Yeah.
Still showing some strong growth.
It has been.
But we're also seeing those vacancy rates creeping up. And the rent growth it's slowing down a little bit.
Which is a little concerning, right? It makes you wonder if maybe that market's starting to cool off a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, retail, that's still a tight market. Not a lot of new supply coming online.
Right.
So that's going to create, both opportunities and challenges for investors, I think.
I agree. And then there's industrial. That's been the star performer for a while now.
For sure.
But it looks like it might be losing a little steam.
Yeah. Rent growth is slowing down there too, and vacancy rates are ticking up.
So it's kind of a mixed bag out there, right? I think the big takeaway is you have to really look at what's happening in your local market.
That's key. All real estate is local, right? So, are there these niche sectors, emerging opportunities that you can tap into? Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, so let's move on to something that's been generating a lot of buzz lately. It's this whole debate about days on market, DOM.
Oh, yes, DOM.
Yeah. It's always been a key metric, right, for kind of gauging the, market activity.
For sure.
But there's this whole discussion going on about whether, how we measure it now is really, transparent, if it's really accurate.
Yeah. I mean, the way we do it now, it's all based on when a property gets listed on the MLS, right?
Yeah.
But some people are saying that's not really telling the whole story anymore.
Exactly. Especially with all these private listing networks popping up.
Right.
Like Compass, for instance. They're saying that sellers shouldn't be penalized for using these other platforms.
Yeah, their argument is that, if a property's been marketed, it's been marketed. Whether it's on the MLS or not, that time should count.
Yeah. And they're really pushing for more transparency and a more comprehensive definition of DOM.
Yeah, it's a valid point. It raises the question, is the way we do it now, is it really fair to everyone? Buyers, sellers, agents? Does it really give us the information we need?
That's a good question.
It is. And it's a conversation that I think we need to keep having, especially as, technology changes, the market changes.
Absolutely. Yeah, it really makes you think, huh? And, speaking of things that make you think, we can't just ignore what happened in LA with those wildfires.
Oh, man, those were just devastating.
Yeah, Homes.com, they said over 11,000 homes were destroyed. Just gone. Between those two fires, the Eaton fire and the Palisades fire.
It's unbelievable. And the estimated value of the damage, almost $30 billion.
$30 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. And it's a harsh reminder, I think, for all of us in this business, about the risks that are out there.
Absolutely. And it underlines how important it is for us, as agents, as brokers, to really talk to our clients about these things, about insurance, about being prepared for disasters. Those conversations can be tough, but they're crucial.
Yeah, for sure. We have to be proactive. We have to help our clients protect their investments, help them navigate those unforeseen challenges.
Right. It's part of our job.
It is. And of course, we can't forget about how these events impact the housing market. Locally.
Of course not. You've got increased demand, you've got rising rents, you might even see shifts in population density as people start to relocate, all these things that we have to be aware of.
It all ties back to the bigger picture, right? How real estate is connected to everything else, social trends, environmental trends.
Exactly. It's all intertwined.
Okay, so let's switch gears again. Back to mortgage rates. Remember that January jobs report?
Yeah.
It came in a little lower than expected. But experts like Lisa Sturdivant, they're still saying that the Fed is probably going to hold off on rate cuts for now.
Probably. So what does that mean for our clients? The ones who are trying to decide whether to buy or sell right now.
Yeah, tough question.
Yeah.
It's like this big puzzle with no easy answers.
Right. Do they wait, hope the rates drop? Or do they just go for it, take advantage of what's happening now? You know, there's no magic formula.
Right.
Unfortunately, the best thing we can do is educate ourselves. Look at the data, talk to our clients, understand their goals, their comfort level with risk.
I agree. Arm yourself with knowledge and have those honest conversations. That's how you really provide value as an agent.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So speaking of valuable data, Altos Research, they put out some interesting findings recently.
Oh, yeah. What did they find?
Well, they said new listings are going up, which is good, right? But they're still way below what we were seeing before the pandemic.
So inventory is still tight.
Yeah, in a lot of markets.
Yeah.
And that means prices are probably going to keep going up.
Makes sense. Well, wait, there's a twist?
Oh, there's a twist.
Yeah. They also found that more sellers are willing to cut prices now compared to last year at this time.
Interesting. So is that a sign that the market's finally starting to cool down?
Or is it just a seasonal thing? Who knows? It's a real head scratcher.
It is. It's definitely something we need to watch closely. But, no matter what happens with the market, one thing's for sure, technology is more important than ever.
Oh, absolutely. We can't underestimate the power of technology.
Right. To today's world, you got to embrace it. If you want to succeed, use those online portals for research. Do those virtual tours, connect with buyers remotely. Use social media to build your brand.
It's about staying ahead of the game. Using all the tools we have to be more efficient, reach more people, and ultimately be more successful.
Exactly. And, remember that whole discussion about days on market?
Yeah.
We talked about transparency and standardization.
Right. Making sure DOM really reflects what's happening in the market.
So what do you think? If you can redesign the system, how would you do it? How would you make sure it provides those valuable insights for everyone? Buyers, sellers, agents?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's not an easy one to answer. It requires some real innovation, some collaboration.
For sure. Okay, so before we wrap up, I want to zoom out a little bit. We've been talking a lot about the U.S. market today.
Right.
But real estate, it's a global industry.
Absolutely. What happens in one part of the world can definitely impact what happens in another.
Yeah. Like the strength of the U.S. dollar, for example. That can make American real estate more appealing to foreign investors.
For sure. Or a global economic slowdown could lead to less demand in certain areas.
It's all connected.
It is. So as we're looking at our local markets, as we're building our business strategies, we have to keep an eye on what's happening globally, too.
Right. It's about having that global mindset, understanding that real estate is increasingly interconnected.
Exactly.
Okay, and one last thing I wanted to circle back to our conversation about family caregivers.
Yeah, that's an important one.
It's a growing demographic, and it presents both challenges and opportunities for us.
Definitely. So how can we support this population? How can we go beyond just being transaction facilitators and become real advocates for their needs?
Yeah, it really makes you think, like what can we do? What's our role in all of this?
It does. And I don't think there's one easy answer, but maybe it starts with just like recognizing that this is a growing need.
Yeah.
And maybe we can partner with, local organizations that are already working with these families, helping them navigate this whole caregiving thing.
Right. Provide resources, guidance, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Or maybe it's about, advocating for policies that make it easier for older Americans to stay in their homes, age in place safely.
That's a good point.
The point is, I think we need to start thinking bigger, Our role as real estate professionals, it's not just about, buying and selling houses.
Right.
We can really make a difference in people's lives.
I agree. Well, hey, I think that about wraps it up for this week's Deep Dive.
Another one for the books.
We covered a lot of ground, that's for sure.
Wow.
Market trends, those economic forecasts, what's happening with our clients, technology, the global perspective, you name it.
It's a lot to digest, but that's the beauty of it, right?
It is.
The more you know, the better equipped you are to, navigate this crazy world of real estate. And let's be honest, it's always changing. So we got to stay on top of it.
We do. So to everyone listening, keep those questions coming, keep those conversations going. Don't be afraid to, push the boundaries a little bit.
That's how we grow, right?
Exactly. Until next time, happy deal making, everyone.
If you're interested in your own personalized edition of The Wire, please visit us at thewire.fm/custom. We offer market-specific podcasts with all the latest real estate news and market analysis delivered to you weekly or monthly. Own your market with a personalized edition of The Wire. The Week in Real Estate. Thank you for listening.